How are you guys doing? My name is Chris Matthews. I'm your relationship coach and licensed marriage and family therapist. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about 6 different signs to be aware of to determine if you're being gaslighted by your partner. So, gaslighting is a term that is used to define emotional abuse. It looks like when one partner attempts to make the other partner question their own reality or emotional state. And the goal of gaslighting is for one partner to be manipulative and controlling and make a person question who they are, how they feel, or what they're thinking. The first sign you want to be aware of to determine if your partner is gaslighting you is going to be if they tell you how you should or should not feel. A lot of times as a couples counselor, I'll hear one partner tell me that their mate or spouse told them they may be too sensitive or they're overreacting. No one can tell you how you feel. That's something in which you want to be mindful of when you're dating or married with someone in a relationship. If you find that they're trying to tell you what you're thinking or how you should or should not feel, that's going to be a major sign of gaslighting. The second sign that you want to be aware of, if your partner attempts to engage in deflecting behaviors. In a prior video, I talked about different signs of defensiveness. Deflecting behaviors also align with gaslighting because it looks like if you try to address an issue with your partner and they automatically try to flip it back onto you. That could be counter-criticizing you. It could also be attempting to change the subject and make themselves look like they're high and mighty and you're in a lower position or less than. So just to give you an example, if you find that your partner does not contribute to the household chores and you approach your partner and you say to your partner, hey honey, I noticed that when we clean up on Saturdays, you're usually sitting down watching the football game and I'm doing the dishes, I'm mopping the floor. I really would like some help. And your partner says to you, well, I noticed that on Wednesdays you come home late and I cook dinner. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what does that have to do with cleaning the house on Saturdays? That's a deflective approach that a gaslighter will use to prevent them from being in the light of accountability. So if you find that you cannot talk to your partner about things that you would like for them to improve or adjustments you would need made in the relationship, and they're making it always out to be your fault, then you may be a victim of gaslighting at that point. The third form of gaslighting that I see as a couples counselor is when one partner tries to convince the other of a blatant lie. In my work, I do a lot of counseling with couples that are treating infidelity or betrayals. And it can be frustrating for one partner to approach the other with hard facts, evidence. It could be text messages or emails, and you know that that partner was cheating or doing something inappropriate, but when confronted, the individual will immediately say, I don't know what you're talking about. And what makes it gaslighting is the individual will lie with a straight face. They'll look you in your eyes and say, I do not know what you're talking about. I did not text that person. And you see the message. And at that point, as humans, when we hear someone lie to us directly with confidence, we somewhat pause and we start to question, am I reading the text message correctly? And at that moment, the gaslighter uses that opportunity of confusion to then drive home the point. They then may say, look, I know sometimes that I have my phone out. One of my buddies at work, man, got the phone. And they'll start to generate this lie or story. And you know it's not true, but because you love or care about that person, or maybe you don't want to endure the pain that comes with learning your partner cheated on you, at that moment you begin to believe the lie. But at the end of the day, you're actually being a victim of gaslighting. The fourth way your partner might exhibit signs of gaslighting are when they attempt to make you feel like you have to prove things to yourself. So what do I mean by that? If you feel like you have to replay dialogues in your head to determine what you said because your partner might have convinced you that you were the aggressor, although they were the ones using profanity or they were the ones that were calling you out of your name, that's then a point in time where you're questioning yourself. If you begin to inquire about issues that do not exist, for example, a person that's being gaslighted might feel as if they have a self-diagnosis. Your partner may say things to you like, now you know your mother had anxiety, you know your mom had depression, I think you might be exhibiting those same symptoms. And what you then will do is say, you know what, you're right. Maybe I am the one that has the issue. Or your partner may say, you know what, you've been watching a lot of those TV shows and I think they're rubbing off on you. So the partner will pull something external and try to create this lie that something's wrong with you. And I've seen partners, unfortunately, they'll go through different steps or stages of individual counseling. They'll begin to keep a diary or dialogues, recorded just to try to determine if they're going crazy or not. And a lot of times, if you have a partner trying to self-diagnose you that's not a properly trained clinician, they're just attempting to gaslight you. So at the end of the day, go with your gut feeling. If you know there's nothing wrong with you, then don't allow a person to tell you something's there when it's really not. The fifth sign that you might be gaslighted by your partner is if you feel the need to always be an investigator. I'll meet couples in therapy, and prior to being with a particular partner, they'll say, I used to never go through anyone's phone. I used to never go through a person I was dating's email. And what happens over time when you're married or dating a gaslighter, they'll make you question yourself so much that you'll start to investigate or try to find harder evidence or facts to prove them wrong. Unfortunately, when you bring that material or evidence to the gaslighter, they'll try to flip it and they'll make you seem like you're in the wrong for finding the information. I've actually been in session with a couple where one partner found a video of the other partner having sex with another person. And in the session, instead of being accountable that they were caught red-handed, they blew up and got upset and said, how dare you find that video going through my phone? I didn't give you permission to my phone. You must have took my password. Negating the fact that there's a video of this person having sex with someone else. They didn't even look at that as the issue. They were so concerned about the individual going through their phone, trying to deflect or make the partner feel like they did something wrong. It doesn't work that way. This is not the court system. You can't get evidence thrown out. If it's there, it's there. So be mindful that if you find yourself investigating or trying to search your partner's personal belongings to find information, you may be getting gaslighted. The sixth sign that you want to be aware of, your partner engages in minimization. So if your partner is always trying to minimize or make things sound like they're not that bad, then that's a form of gaslighting. I recall working with a couple and the male partner had a lot of pictures of naked women on his phone. And what he would tell his partners, he said to the female partner, oh, these women are just, jokes that my friends send me. We just do that. That's just a guy thing. This is normal. And the female partner was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. You have pictures of naked women on your phone. Is that normal? And he was like, sure, honey, that's normal. Guys do that. Look, let me tell you right now, as a married man, it's not normal to have any other naked pictures on my phone. And if I was to have some, they better be my wife. Now, I promise you, if you find yourself in a situation where you know something's wrong and someone's attempting to tell you it's not, then they're trying to minimize what your experience is at the same time. We couldn't minimize this hurt partner's feelings that she wasn't appearing to be good enough because her male partner had pictures of women that didn't look like her. And another thing, if you find yourself in a situation where your male partner or female partner for that matter is in this position of hierarchy where they're believing themselves to be entitled. The man in the scenario I described to you, he felt entitled to have those pictures on his phone. And I asked him, I said, so what would happen if your wife had pictures like that on her phone? And he goes, well, that's not appropriate for a woman to do. So those are different double standards that could also look like minimization, which align with gaslighting. So now we've gotten to a point where I've mentioned these 6 different signs of gaslighting. And I'll always hear, in therapy, a partner will ask me, why do people do this? If you're being gaslighted by a partner, it doesn't necessarily mean that partner is like, you know, a mad scientist behind the scenes going, ha 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 ha, how can I get him or her today? It doesn't really work that way. A lot of the behaviors come from family of origin. Your partner might have had these experiences done to them by a parent. Your partner may have learned these experiences by way of a past relationship. So everything that we encounter in relationships has come from something else that our partner endured prior to being with us. A good sign to determine if you're with a gaslighter, be around their family and friends. If you acknowledge or observe some of the same behaviors that you're feeling from them, then you know where it comes from. Another sign of gaslighting, or why people might gaslight you if you're in a relationship, some people just cannot be wrong. It just makes them feel like they're less than a person and they can't endure the shame or any of the embarrassment that comes with not being right. So no matter what, that person will refuse to admit that they're wrong. And if you find your partner in that position where they have no empathy for how you feel, they cannot be in a position of growth to understand their behavior or actions are harmful, at that point, you may want to look at dissolving the relationship, because that can be emotional abuse if you begin to feel yourself not being comfortable enough to express your needs or what you desire from your partner. I hope this video is helpful. If you find yourself in a relationship where gaslighting is going on, I would advise you first and foremost, seek out individual counseling. Get that third party where you can have someone explain to you that, hey, you're not crazy. Then look at couples counseling, where you can actually have another person to hold your partner accountable alongside of you. And at that point, you want to also be aware that these relationships usually don't last if a partner is gaslighting you, because over time what happens is that you lose trust for them. They'll tend to fall into the behavior of attempting to control you, and the manipulation becomes so much to bear that the relationship usually breaks. Once again, my name is Chris Matthews. I hope this video was helpful. Do subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side for the next video. Can never go back.